Okay, well, apparently my memory stick got full on me, but we're going to start it again here. I don't know where the other one left off, but again, silk, wet. Wet silk, damp silk, good. Not soaking wet, just wet. And then we want to kind of come along here and kind of pull this edge down and glue it down. I like to get some up on the silk here, so when you do it with a bigger brush later, it doesn't pool in there, because it will. And I always do this side first. I don't think there is a right and wrong side. It's whatever you kind of do. But what I do is I get ahead of myself a little bit here. Then I grab it from here and I pull out all the wrinkles. And it will start tacking up to when you stretch it. It will kind of stay in place. And pull all the wrinkles out. And now once you start getting it pulled tight like this is when it's going to start drying fast on you, because you're opening up all the holes in the silk a bit more. So you gotta just kind of watch that. So you gotta pull tight. I usually like to leave a little bit more right here, but it didn't work out this time. I can kind of tell the silk's drying pretty quick here. This is how I think Roger should cover his monster stick. Not use that sissy monocoat stuff. You know, my memory stick got full, so I had to change it midstream, and that's why the video is probably going to have two parts. Okay, now we're going to grab the big brush here. I'm going to start laying down. This is a lot more expensive than like using monocoat, because I know the silk's expensive, the dope's expensive. This side will need 3 coats of dope, bottom side, then 2 coats of paint, and then maybe 2 coats of clear, or to make it real shiny. And then you come from this side and you let it tack up a little bit. If you see little bubbles, make sure you see like that. You don't want to do that. Well, see that there? What the hell? Okay. I haven't leave myself anything. And you gotta kind of watch the fibers in the silk too. If they're not running straight, that shows up in your paint too. You can kind of see how you get a little dope on there, and it will, in a few minutes, it'll start getting tacky enough to where you can stretch this out. You really got to watch down in these places. You want to make sure that's really tight, because when you're putting on your dope over the top, if you don't have it tight, it will pool there. Now that is really tight, and it's not even dry yet. And again, keep it damp. Even after you get it all stretched, you still want to keep it damp. Because you want to make sure this dope gets enough time to dry, where when the silk starts drying and tightening up, it's got enough grip to where it'll not pull itself off the ball swing. You really got to watch those little droplets. You don't want to leave any of that there, ever. But I think we're getting pretty much there. Of course, you got to trim it and, you know, get rid of the edges and make that all look nice. But and I do like to end this back behind here. And right now is the ideal time to do that. Kind of grab it, pull on it. Get it, oh no, it's not tight there. We're just going to cut that off later anyway. But, oops, I got a drop right there. That'll give it a nice, clean, finished look. I'm just making sure I got no dope on all this. I think I did. Okay. I'm going to pull that tight. Looking pretty good so far. Yeah, I see a little spot there that's a little white. I took vacation this week, well, half the week, just to work on this. This is going to have a DLE 20cc on it when it's done. Okay. I think that's pretty good. I'll let that, oh shit, see, you got a big wrinkle right here. No good. I'm going to pull that out right now. I really don't want to come out. I think that'll be okay. That's pretty minor. It's pretty tight. I can't stress enough, even after you get it all tacked down on the edge, just keep it damp. And that way there, it'll give this dope some time to set up to where the silk is, you know, good and secure. And being held down, otherwise you're gonna end up with loose silk because it'll pull off as it dries, because it will shrink. So you got to keep it not soaking wet but damp. I did look on YouTube for how to do silk, and I didn't find too many. Yeah, my room's a shithole. Sue me. But this one here is the one I did the other day. I don't know if you can see it, but I just coated this last night. It'll need a real fine sanding, but you know how tight that is? You know what the difference between silk and monocoat is? This will keep getting tighter. It won't loosen up in the sun. It'll actually keep it never stops tightening up. But that's kind of what you're after right there. I don't know if you notice when you got a monocoat airplane, you'll be out. Oh, I got a wrinkle on it, son of a bitch. And it'll get wrinkles in the sun. Well, silk doesn't do that. This is probably the last time I'm going to dampen this up. I think we're good to go on that. But that's how you put silk on. Other side I already did. As you can see, it's pretty tight, but there's no dope on it yet. I got to dope it yet. 3 coats of dope. Well, that's what I like to use, is 3 coats. But that's pretty much how you put on silk. Water's the key. I use bottled water. If you have like a well water and there's a lot of iron and shit in it, that can end up on your silk. So I use bottled water. Wife doesn't appreciate that, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. Keep it damp throughout the process. Make sure you're using the right dope. I use butyrate dope from SIG Supercoat. There's nitrate dope too. Some of this stuff's not compatible, like with paints and whatnot, but butyrate is just fine to use with like luster coat. That's the kind of paint I use. So I use butyrate dope, and then my thinner, I always get this here. I just like to buy SIG stuff. SIG airplane, SIG dopes. Not SIG silk though. Theirs is too expensive. I can get it half the price off eBay. I think it's 20 bucks for a 3-yard piece, something like that. And this is a medium grade silk. They make 3 different levels. There's fine for like small airplanes, which I have, and then there's this medium, and then there's heavy. I don't know what you'd use that heavy stuff on. This is plenty heavy enough. Any questions, just leave a message on my YouTube page or whatever the hell. And if I can help you, I'll help you.